Hello, my name is Jay. I'm a mental health nurse and I currently work for the NHS, but I also run a small business delivering mental health first aid training and bespoke courses. So for me, I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I left school, to be honest. I was approaching a time when I was leaving school, leaving sixth form, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew that I didn't really want to go into like an academic subject. I knew that I wanted to do something with people rather than like an academic kind of research thing. And one of my scout leaders actually said to me, "Oh, my wife's a matron at a nursing home. You know, you're a really caring sort of person. You're good at listening. Why don't you give it a go?" So I kind of ended up just doing some work experience there and learning from them, and I found it incredibly fascinating and really empowering to be able to work with people and make their lives better. And I kind of fell into it that way, to be honest. I suppose one of the challenges is the recovery is really complex and individual. So yes, we have a diagnosis model, or we have an understanding of what various mental health conditions or disorders are, but the reality is it's very much down to that individual and what we call the frame of reference or window on the world. So basically, what has that young person experienced today? What is their worldview right now? And that's based on everything from birth till now. So what is it that they've been through? And that's so unique to that individual that you can't prescribe like a set treatment for everything. But what we know that works is having good role models, supporting young people by building strong relationships, being able to give them a balanced education around, yes, academic stuff is important, but also the non-formal stuff, so the non-formal education, or the being physically active, and being able to have a good diet, and access to sort of support networks is absolutely key to building resilience. And if I was to be able to do one thing, it would be to give people the ability to build resilience in young people. So the ability to bounce back from adversity. Stuff happens in life that isn't pleasant. Difficult situations will happen. We can't stop bad things from happening necessarily, but giving people the ability to fight through that adversity and come out the other side is what resilience is, and that's the key thing that we need to embed across education and across all youth organisations and services. So for me, it's simply a case of young people don't often have the skills to be able to articulate how they're feeling. So there's a communication barrier there to being able to kind of communicate how they are. If they're struggling, actually putting a hand up and saying, "Yep, I'm actually struggling right now." And it's both something that we see in young people, but also adults across the UK. The society has changed in the last 10, 15 years, unrecognisably so. When I went to school, there was a thing called MSN, there was maybe a thing called Bebo, and that was kind of like a thing that was there, but it wasn't like a major part of life. Now, if you look at social media, the internet, media in general, the world is a totally different place where you can speak to somebody on the phone in Australia in a second. Whereas before, you may have had a few days for a letter or an email or whatever to go through. And so society's got to feel the impact of that change somewhere. And that can be in a positive way, so people can access support 24/7 in a way they could never have done before. We can give support to people that are in such a deprived community that they would never have had access to anything. Whereas also the danger is that young people are also exposed to a lot at a very young age, and with that power comes a great risk as well in terms of their own mental health and the way it affects them. At the moment, there's a bigger focus on schools, so education being able to support young people's mental health needs. And that's, yes, absolutely, I wouldn't disagree with that. But one of the challenges is schools don't currently have the ability to work with young people that are really struggling. And that's not for want of trying, that's teachers maybe feeling they haven't got the resources or the skills to be able to do the work that's required to support young people. So what we need is skills and practical knowledge in schools across all staff members. So I've set up Mental Health Building Blocks as an organisation to give people practical skills around mental health. There's lots of people out there who campaign and raise awareness of mental health issues, but actually what people need are practical, tangible skills, such as good listening skills, communication skills, being able to start a conversation with a young person about mental health. Real practical stuff that they can actually use in their day-to-day life.